said the line! For some reason, you got XP, levels, and money. This is completely superfluous, and this doesn't actually do anything. We have access to the prologue. There's the old version of Pandora Institute, which is pretty interesting. There's a couple of horde maps. The kill station. This used to be a big cornerstone of the 2021 builds. I remember playing on this map a lot. It's just this little, you know, arena with like mock-up buildings and stuff like that in Unreal 4 branding. You got your dev textures, wonky looking trees and stuff like that. Hopefully this isn't like too boring already though. Like, yeah, here's like a map you haven't seen before. Yeah, that's the map. The earlier cycles have the elephant laxatives. I put in Pann's food earlier today. Wait, what? A lot of the interesting stuff can be seen in like the spawn menu. Here's like an interesting old enemy right here. It's called the Super Soldier. I don't know if this is like an asset that just existed on the Unreal store or whatever. I assume this was probably meant as like a prototype 107 or something like that. Why does he look so skinny? He hasn't been fully formed in the test tube. Smash! We're 20 minutes into the stream. Why he low-key? That's 2 people. Low-key with the commas, that means you're down bad. Die. And so he drops this interesting gun here, which is like the untextured vector that you hold like a pistol that makes laser noises. And I was not expecting this. Rectangle. And just go up to this guy and like... Fuck,
I think he's here.
Gee, I don't know, buddy. Do you think so? Wait, what? He survived that? If he survived that, he survived a night with me. That's all I'm saying. Keep it in your pants. Holy shit. Why is chat suddenly simping for this man? Why? Or almost a immovable object. Oh, look at that stank leg right there. Stanky legs. Same reason I simp for AM. I have no mouth and I must scream. You don't need to look at these losers. This is the second generation of Jiggly Boys right here, I think. Before they used to look like retextured Horizon soldiers that are just have a meat texture. And then these days they kind of look like big piles of boogers, and this is kind of like sort of an in-between sort of thing right here. And like the more damage they take, the more of these zits appear on their body for some reason. And yeah, they just explode like that. If this is a hear me out for anybody, I'd be very concerned. Phann chat about to pour blended veggies into a bowl and hump it. The ship friends. And each class has like a different camo type, looks like. How very interesting. Woodland, you got this very lime green fellow. Arctic camo here as well, which is pretty cool. Huh? So the new minigun hasn't been added yet. Oh, Jesus. So the minigun is also broken. Huh. Site 83 security. Oh, you can actually see this. This is like a makeshift gas mask model, because you know how the hazmat suits look like in the main game. Here, you can see that it's an amalgamation of the M50 gas masks that, you know, I wear, and the Juggernaut helmet. And so that's just kind of how they mocked it up back in the day. Impulse 101 hazmat unit. What the? He's packing heat. I'm just actually shoving the minigun up their ass, like. Oh, I found an asshole. Death by pegging. Ninja anal devastation with a minigun. The most uncomfortable death imaginable. We do have a few interesting old weapons here as well. We have SMG2, which is some flooring. It's an AK. And you pick it up. Pistol animations. What's the damage? Yep, that's how you reload an AK. Shotgun 2. It takes the form of a tan-colored assault rifle that you also hold like a pistol. A full auto shotgun that I cannot reload for some reason, unfortunately, so that's kind of upsetting. Right, I forgot though. You press C and you can edit your gun here, so you can put attachments on there, put a suppressor on, you can put like a reflex sight on it with no texture on it. This is literally red.sight.mdl. Let's see, you can put on a suppressor on the Krinkov, or a compensator. You can put redsight.mdl on it. Dual wield, holy shit, and laser plus flashlight. Cool, you got a combo thing, but it says that I have dual wields, so what is that, like? No way. So you're telling me the way that dual wield manifests in this gun is that I load 2 magazines to fire twice as fast. Hello, welcome back, Viller Perosa. Oh, look, here, yeah. What do you guys notice different about this DMR. When it was first added, you held it like this. Now you hold it near the mag well, which has always annoyed me. I wonder if there's a way to mod these animations into the new version because I prefer this. Then you also have this heavy sniper, which actually came before the DMR, and it took the form of a golden VHS. And you zoom in, and it zooms in a lot. Like, that's a big zoom right there. It was definitely going to be a 50 cal for sure, and just to demonstrate it.
Ghost Warrior.
There's nothing too interesting when it comes to customizing it. The rocket launcher, which, hey, doesn't this seem familiar? This is the old pistol model from back in 2018. Ah, why is the flashlight on? Oh, that's why. Wow. And we get a grenade launcher and a bolt launcher. Yes. And speaking of the grenade launcher, it does exist in this. However, it has a different model because as you can see here, well, now it's like a weird pump action thing kind of based off of the MGL and like that Phann branded underbarrel grenade launcher that you might see on a SCAR. This is just a straight MGL. Kind of interesting how they actually went ahead and replaced it because not only is the model like, you know, pretty much finished though. And I mean, I guess there is no textures on it though, but it doesn't look that bad. But it is like there is a proper holding animation and a proper firing animation, so that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I guess the last one to show off that was the airstrike gun, which is a brain. You guys like the brain? Hold on, I'm gonna create like a big crowd of people to blow up. I can't really think of anything better though than to just, you know, blow up myself. Oh god, my lines, my old lines, fuck. Hey, set the line! Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, that actually lagged the fuck out of my game. Damn, where do they go? There's not even Jibs left. Reduced to atoms. Oh, there's another one. God tier comedy, McHuggin. Balls? If this is what I think it is, here's an old meme.
Stop! You violated the law. Pay the court a fine or serve your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit.
For those of you watching the highlight reel, that was not edited. That is the sound that it makes. That is what we used to call a pan ball. I don't know why that exists. It just appeared one day and it's like, hey Pan, do you like this? It's like, I guess. Let's see, so what's NPC frog? I don't remember. If you recognize this, this is a very popular emote in the Trepang2 server. Perfect for reacting to garbage suggestions. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't this. Pineapple. Smack! For God's sake. Now this is a hear me out. Wait, what is that? What did he just drop there? So exclusive to the Pineapple Man apparently is this vector that the pickup icon is like a construction icon. Literal ghost ring iron sights. I suppose this is kind of like a bit what the AK was. Not gonna lie, if this was a finished gun though, that would probably feel kind of satisfying. I mean, Phann police, what is that? You ever see something so beautiful? I kind of remembered that this existed, but now that I'm seeing it on my screen again, I'm in awe. Aw, stupid. The Moth Mom, who's actually apparently been fully modeled for years, actually. You can't kill this one, it's invincible. The last send-off, I suppose, here, though just for this portion of the stream, I guess, is to simply do the funny thing and just keep spawning the balls. Oh, they stack! No, actually, there's one more thing I actually neglected to try out. Reload spammer may crash. That sounds like a great idea. Is it gonna crash? I don't think it's gonna crash. Also, can you hear me at all? This is so loud right now. Oh, Jesus. Oops.
As we move on to the levels, I'll briefly summarize them in post to make things more concise, since they're either stuff you have already seen, just rough around the edges, or are barren and best skimmed over in a few seconds. I'm gonna focus more on the big differences, so don't come after me if I didn't realize that a chair was shifted a centimeter. In this build, both Horde 1 and 2 are completely broken, both spawning me in empty voids. The Backrooms map is identical to the hidden one you can access in the safe house in the final release. The prologue's also unchanged from the series of white brick corridors that we saw back in 2019, so no point dwelling on it. The Pandora Institute is the first level where there's actually some noteworthy differences, even as early as the briefing screen. Right off the bat, you can see that the guy we have to find is named Devin Curtis as opposed to Dr. Emerson, and the facility was also known as Site 83, which you all now know as the game's spooky level. Personally, I actually prefer these old briefing screens over the current ones. They feel more like intel and have a lot more flavor. As you approach the facility, you're greeted by the placeholder voices of Raven and the director. The former is probably Brandon Tran, while the latter is unmistakably him.
Alright, we're approaching Pandora Institute. The VIP's last transmission is coming somewhere from that tower.
As far as I can tell, the architecture here is pretty much the same, albeit with unfinished lighting. You also need to destroy 3 AA guns as opposed to just 1. Progressing through the level, while the general flow of the following areas is virtually the same, the museum is completely different, displaying some equipment rather than a bunch of walls with names on them. Shortly after that, there's a small cut set piece where you see the shadow of a Horizon Mall cop shooting himself, and when you turn the corner, you'll see that he had also just executed his whole squad. And speaking of set pieces, the Mothman cutscene plays out the same. However, here, you still have full control of 106, so the sequence isn't nearly as effective. These days, the cinematography obscures more of the scene, which leaves a lot more to the imagination.
That actually scared me. Jesus Christ. I'm pretty sure I can use the cloak to get through.
No!
Apparently that doesn't work in this version. Oh, the cafeteria is a lot cleaner this time. It's not covered in shit. However, the hot dog is still $8.50. So the economy is still fucked. I mean, this does take place in Canada after all.
Here, you can also see that the Jigglies behave a little differently, being a lot more agile than their current counterparts. Still kinda dull to fight though.
The dual wielding thing, you can see that? It's just at the bottom there, but I can't quite get it. It's funny how they didn't just remove it. It's just moved all the way down so you can barely see it. I think I have a hack for this. Ah, take that. You thought you could hide from me. It's right there. Humongous brain. Now, this is a Viller Perosa that I won't be able to use anytime soon because Mothman is going to be coming along here. Yeah,
the first actual encounter with Mothman is, in my opinion, way better in this version. While the scripted animation is cool in the new build, unlike the last sighting, I feel like it's far more scary that you get jump scared while you still have full control, so you have to start running immediately with no time to prepare. The chase itself is a bit lackluster, since it's easier to get your bearings within Pandora's corridors rather than the dark poop tunnel you're thrust into in the final game. While I do recall the latter being a bit annoying to traverse, it does have a lot more atmosphere. It does pick up the slack at the very end though, forcing you to wait for a hack to complete while you mow down hordes of Jigglies, and soon after, staring down the beast itself, which is pretty damn horrifying.
Oh my god, it's coming! Again, in the modern version, his body's actually completely intact, and this is where you find his medallion. Here, he's just been turned into a Jiggly. And it's not even Dr. Emerson, it's Dr. Curtis again.
After you overload the reactors in the same way you do in the current version, the encounter with Mothman while you wait for the elevator is slightly different, taking place on some catwalks that give you more room to run around versus a small fiery pit. The level then promptly ends after you make your escape, since there's no real fight against her. Moving on to the next year's build, the two Horde maps do work, but there's still nothing new to see apart from the first level having better lighting than previous versions. There's also a few test maps that none of us were ever meant to see. Test Endless NPC War is simply just an unfinished version of Gunnerson Complex that spawns a bunch of Horizon and TF-27 soldiers
Oh god, they still have my old fucking lines.
And as the name implies, it's just a place for them to duke it out. Beyond that, there's nothing for you to do.
And you can see these lovely high-res buildings.
The next test map is Test 3 Lane, another place for NPC wars. It's just an open field with a bunch of blocked out structures that was never developed further. Again, not much else to see, but it does make me wonder if it was gonna become a completed map. It's unfinished, but the buildings do look cool.
Oh, you just clipped through the mountains. Wow, I feel like such a mountaineer.
Test package include me just sends you to the main menu. I don't know.
That's a great map, isn't it?
Test flesh golems, looks inside, no flesh golems. This is simply a small white arena with a few test objects like lights and levers, with a few dark rooms off to the side. This is where I started to mess around with Tmod again, so we're moving back to the live commentary.
We got the Cum Man. It's Glue Man. The original shit character. They added lawyer thugs. That is not a lawyer thug. Nice helmet texture. Is that fucking Minos Prime? Oh my god, you might be right. EMP Trooper is just a mall cop, but with a waypoint on him. Spawn gun and a fizz gun. Oh, fish. So it has the scope that is in the main game. However, it's just there as an attachment for the assault rifle. The fish has a bigger magazine and thus more total ammo. It's less accurate, but shoots faster. I believe this is the fizz gun. It used to just look like a glowing vector instead of it being like a hand thing. Like, aside from aesthetic differences, it behaves much in the same way. You right click just to freeze things and whatnot. You can just do stuff like this. This is the spawn gun, which I don't remember ever using. I guess it's broken? Smiley face. I have peeled him. Ah, yes, in this build, the minigun is finally the new version. Also, the DMR is back here, and now we have, like, the new holding stance, which I don't like as much, but we now have... You still do a fear-style zoom. You don't actually aim down the scope yet. Why is my helmet not applied properly? Slam. Oh, yeah, by the way, there used to be no limit to how many throwables you could have, by the way. Both of them are still intact. Ah, top keck. It's nothing, I guess. That's unfortunate. What did they do to you? They broke my boy. I'll free you from your horrible existence. They move around now in this build. Let's go. Oh my god. Oh my god, the frames. Stop. Oh my god. Ew! Oh, he's moving around. Like, are we going on an adventure? It's teleporting. God, why are the pan balls so full of meat? Like, Jesus Christ. Ah, there we go. It's finally stopped. This looks like a fucking crime scene. I just spawned a bunch of meme balls and look what happened. Let's do complex. That should be pretty simple.
As the name implies, this is another early version of Gunnerson Complex, although this one is closer to its final incarnation, with a more complete design compared to the test map, and it has an objective. It has been several years since then, so I can't find the messages, but I recall this iteration of this map not being well liked by playtesters, and it's frankly easy to see why. Here, you need to stand close to the terminals in order to hack them. I don't think I need to explain why this sucks, especially with a game like Trepang.
Oh! No! Don't do this to me!
Gotta hack 3 computers. Make sure you stay in close proximity.
Nah, fuck that. I ain't finishing that. I'm not replaying that. That's boring as fuck. I'm sorry.
I then moved on to the Ghosts mission, aka Site 82, or what we now know as Site 83. Generally speaking, the level basically plays the same, just with different color grading. And yes, this version still has the jump scare.
Hey, it didn't get me this time.
When you find the Hazmat Horizon grunts, interestingly, they're all dark green as opposed to yellow and red. There's then a second encounter with the the ghost, and at one point it lodged me into the ground, so I had to use T-Mod to get out. When I tried to disable it, it completely messed up my view model, so that's why I don't have hands for the rest of the level. Needless to say, the backrooms don't appear here, sending you straight to the elevator section, which promptly sends you to the boss fight against the Monolith, which is the old name of Subject 83. First of all, I have no idea if I broke something by accident, but the arena was unplayably dark in most areas, so I eventually had to adjust the time of day to see anything. The fight still uses the same idea of turning on 3 breakers to fire a laser at it, but while the final version forces you to fight off a squad of enemies to gain access to each panel and only requires a single laser beam to put down the monolith, this iteration doesn't block your access to the objectives at all, but it needs 3 shots to kill. This is far less enjoyable, so I'm glad they changed it. Moving on to Cultist, the Jorvik Castle prototype.
Is that the Waco siege?
It's, again, not that far off from its future self, but there are some noticeable differences.
Doors locked to player. Just make it look good from here.
Something that's immediately apparent is the fact that the cultists don't sound like cultists and use horizon lines as a placeholder. It's immensely cursed. Also, the suicide bombers scream like me. Beyond that, the combat encounters feel fairly close for the most part.
Wait. Oh, wait. I'm not supposed to go out here. If someone donates, like, any amount of bits, I'll jump. Intrusive thoughts speak. There you go. Damn, I've taken a long time to follow my death right now. I did this for 5 cents.
The boss fight against the Enforcer, or the cultist captain, played out really strangely, however. I didn't even get him down to half health before he just blinked out of existence. Something interesting about this arena is the fact that there's a lot more barrels, and basically none of them are nailed down. I kinda wish they kept this, it adds a lot more chaos. Also, the door leading to the next area broke, so I had to no-clip through. Shortly after that, there's a weird, quick flashback sequence that was cut from the final game before another courtyard fight. Then, the part leading up to the kill house is completely different. Instead of going through another part of the castle's interior, you go through this yard that some players may recognize as the Cryptyard Horde map. The kill house itself is basically the same, with the most noteworthy thing being the placeholder text.
Ah, kill me please. Oh my god.
Things continue to be pretty similar until the final fight with the cultist boss. The arena itself is honestly way better than the current auditorium, which is pretty infamous for being a virtually coverless room with few opportunities to break line of sight. This version has an elevated platform on one side, which I think would have made this map a lot more manageable to play on. Not that it stopped the boss fight from completely breaking.
You hear that? Did Buddy just clip out of the map? What's happening here?
Hi, welcome to Chile.
What the fuck are you doing out there? Funny thing was like, I must hide, but he was already fucking hiding. And there's no other enemies spawning though. He just said, protect me, my minions, but they all fucked off. Why is everything spawning outside? What is this shit? Hurry up and die already, for God's sake. Wait, who the fuck are you? Is this motherfucker still not dead? Oh my, I have enough of this.
Interestingly, Patty was also going to have a second phase where he turns into a flesh golem.
God, that was so fucking stupid. Why did it just break like that? Woohoo, that's it. Woohoo!
Heading to Horizon HQ, once again, the map starts off basically the same. Can you see why I opted for post-commentary here? Aside from the fact you have to pull these self-destruct levers instead of planting bombs. The elevators have been changed at least. While in the current game you start pretty far from the HQ and have to traverse a bridge to get there, this old build places you much closer, so you don't really get the same visual set piece of a tower getting shot at. The encounters inside are also close enough, I think, but the lawyer thugs are not present, so it's a lot easier than before. I then clipped through the elevator.
Oh, what the? Whoa!
As you can see, there's no cutscene where Anton lectures you. After the fight in the lounge area, instead of the brutalist map following it with another encounter, you just get this empty room that leads directly to the penthouse, where you can see Anton A-posing. The boss fight is completely different, and I kinda hate it. Instead of running around the map and shooting some brains, your main goal is to, without checkpoints, destroy a helicopter so tanky I gave up and cheated because who cares, this isn't the real game. And as you all know, the Syndicate still betrays you, and this is probably the level with the most changes. First of all, instead of waking up in an incinerator, you begin your rampage in a medical ward.
Whoa, right, I gotta keep fighting my guys. Fuck. Phann beta voice, let's go. No! I need to kill my inner demons. No. I gotta like fucking lock in though so I can kill all these fucking old versions of myself. Fuck me.
Along your path, there's a few areas that feel familiar, but they're all connected by placeholder corridors that make the entire experience feel different, if not particularly noteworthy. You then reach the final boss, not 107, but Dark 106, whatever that was supposed to mean.
Hold on. What if I approach him without getting spotted? That's a start. He doesn't know I'm here. Oh,
After failing to fight him honorably, I opted to just cheat my way past because showcasing skill isn't the point of this video. Oddly enough, the level doesn't end there, since you still have to run down an additional series of corridors of enemies before getting to the nuke, which I'm glad they changed because this just feels like padding.
is it forceful? No, wait, I could just... Your winner! Yay! Oh, there's the mole cop in the main menu. What if I spawn a bunch of my guys? Fuck it, let's do that. If you're mad that I cheated, stay mad. I don't give a shit.